Hi there. How have you been? It's been so long.
It's good, darling. It's great to see you again. I know we had kind of a long beat there with the holiday weekend and all, didn't we?
We did. It's Labor Day week. And, in Corona land, it's hard to know what day it is,
I
but,
know this coronavirus thing is really no
right?
sense of time. We talked about that before, but like it still hasn't changed, you
It's
know.
been a lot of fun, though, at least, meeting with you and,
I agree.
and giving a little something to the actors in the world. And I hope they find this to be useful because
I agree.
you
I
gotta
mean,
you
it's
gotta
great.
perfect your craft, right?
Right. And we rarely have time to sit and do this for actors. So it's kind of, I don't know about you, but like I know I get hit up daily of people asking my advice, my input,
Right.
you know.
And here we are giving it.
Right.
So I think we actually have somebody here, and we could talk about, the how long we've been in business, how long he's been in business, and I think he's coming on here shortly, and I am fascinated. And oh
Hello.
my God,
Hi,
hi,
ladies. How
Eric
are you?
Kilpatrick.
How you doing?
Good,
Good to
good.
see you,
Eric's
my dear.
been in the industry. He's a working actor for years.
Thank you for the
And you could probably tell us more about that than I could possibly. Just give us the cliff notes of what you've done, and how you've come to this industry.
It's really hard for me to talk about myself. I've been in the business for so long, and I am, believe it or not, a second generation actor. I got into it through my dad because he decided I should be an actor than to be a basketball player, which I think was a mistake. If I had something to do over again, I think I would go on and be a basketball player.
But it's easier.
But that being said, there were a lot of influential people, actors who are very noted coming to my house. So I got a chance to see and listen to a lot of conversation about theater and whatnot. And that is where my roots are. That's where my heart is. From there, I moved to Los Angeles, where I began to do a lot of TV, early TV, and I was moving quite well in that vein. It just seemed that when I was younger, they did not want to take me out of that younger phase, and I think I played a juvenile into my late 20s before they started to look at me kind of like I can play professional roles. I think one of the biggest advantages I had was I did two series. One was The White Shadow, which was a series about young basketball players. And I was a 17-year-old basketball player at
You
22.
got the best of both worlds there, right?
Yeah. And then I went on to do a TV show called, a short-lived TV show, which had potential to be very good, called Jessica Novak. And I was playing a news reporter, and that was quite interesting. And then I did some film here, some film there, never really crossing over. And I found out that when I started working on The White Shadow, I got disillusioned about TV and film because coming up through the theater, I worked so hard to do theater, and theater was live, and you were always working, and you're always there, and you had to be always there. On TV, it's like you sit around and you wait all day to do one scene and then maybe two lines. So I was like, okay. So after I finished that, I went back to New York. But in hindsight, if I would tell my younger self um, what to do, I would say hold out until you make a lot of money and then go back.
Right. I mean, let's be real here. The paycheck is quite different, and you're sitting
It's
around all day eating
very,
what you need
very,
to do,
very different.
getting taken care of,
Mhm.
and and you have your 1 or 2 lines, and then you go home and you get your rest. And whereas theater is 24/7, and but tell me about personally what the difference is, because not all the actors we talk to are both theater and TV and film.
Like I said, the main difference for me is that you put in more work in theater. You're more in tune with your character. You're playing that character, and you have every day to try to be perfect, as that character. You grow with that character. Television is the same way. When you're doing a series, you become that character. But after that show is over, you can be stuck into people seeing you as that character, and casting will get stuck in the same, oh no, he's that kid from so-and-so. And so you can't really grow and into other characters. Like I always wanted to be a character actor. That was never happening for me as a young person.
Right. That's an interesting point, because, and Kim, I'd love to ask you about this. I mean, I feel like we get real stuck. And do you work to get unstuck? Because honestly, if I'm sitting in a room with a film director, and he's looking at a resume and it has theater on the top thing, he'll say, this is a theater actor. What do I need with that? And you have to bring them into, no, they'll be great. Give them a chance, right? So Kim, tell us about how you get unstuck, how you unstick your clients. Tell us a little.
Well, I think for me, I love actors who have a theater background, because they've learned how to develop a character. And, and we talked a little bit with Brian Cutler a couple weeks ago, and I've had this conversation with him a lot, and that, theater actors project this way, right? So you have to reach the audience this way in the most intimate of ways. And when you're on camera, you have to reach them this way. Like it has to be so laser targeted, so simple. And I think what happens is that directors and producers think of theater actors as always being so big. Everything is like over the top big. It's too big for film. And, for me, I always say, look, I kind of take it back to the director and say, well, I find that really good directors like you.
That's smart. I've not tried that one. It's not in my DNA.
Right. You can reel them in. But on the other flip side of things, if someone doesn't have that ability to be big and they're too afraid to do something, they're too afraid to take risks, you can't pull something out of them that doesn't exist. You can bring it down, but you can't, it's harder to pull it out. Mm-hmm. So I personally prefer working with someone who has that theater background, because they aren't afraid to take risks. That, when you're a theater actor, as Erik was mentioning, every night you get another chance to make it perfect, but you also every night get a chance to play a little bit. Right. And like you go, you know what, I got a really good laugh on that last night.
Right.
I wonder if I tweak that even a little bit more.
Yeah.
How the audience is going to react to that. Or, I heard that the moment I could do the such and such, if I just hold that note just a moment longer, is the whole audience going to go, so you learn to use the audience's reaction and play to find out what works and what doesn't. So when you're on camera and you don't have an audience to react, you instinctually know what works and what doesn't, because you've learned audience reactions already.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's true. That's so interesting.
That's what so I always tell directors, look, you're smart, you're good at what you do. I know you can reel them in a little bit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they can.
And
now, Erik, tell us a little bit about what it's been like being a Black actor for this many years. I mean, it's a different experience than being a white actor, let's be clear. And
it's interesting. Starting out as a Black actor, I don't look at myself as a Black actor, just look at myself as an actor, but I go for Black roles. But it's like there are a lot of other roles that are generic that I could have read for, I could have done, doctors, lawyers, whatever, that has no description of ethnicity. And it's like just of late, the casting directors are starting to look past that and call in all ethnicities, which is
Right.
really what I wish they had back then. So
Interesting.
that's basically been my awareness and understanding as far as cat. I was lucky enough to have an agent at one time that would push me in for other roles, and it worked at some point. A lot of times, the other thing that I ran across were casting directors and directors saying, "Oh, he's not black enough because he wasn't being hip, slick, and cool." I said, "I'm already black. I don't have to do that. I'm just, I'm black." And then you're too dark, you're too light, and it's like, it was kind of insulting, and it really deterred me from really wanting to be a TV and film actor, unless it was some, and it wasn't I didn't feel that I was really growing in it. I learned the technique. I learned how to be me, how to be small, how to create on film and camera, so that was a learning process also. Getting in and talking to directors, like you said, a lot of directors are already set in their mind what they're looking for and what they want. A lot of times I would get a script and I'll look at what I'm going in for, and it can be, a black actor angry, and I said, okay, everybody's going to go in there angry. I'm not going to go in there that angry. I'm going to go in there with another kind of anger, an internal anger, and try to project that.
Right.
And that was always my thing, to try to do something different,
Yeah. No, I remember recently I was casting a bad guy, and the director writers were black, and they wanted a black man in that position. I'm like, we don't cast, I was falling into that because you don't want to cast a black guy in the bad, you don't want to do that.
I've always wanted to be the bad guy. I mean, the really,
right?
really bad
Right.
guy.
It's really hard to do that as a black guy. So anyway, we did end up with a black man, and it was he was great, and it's great. But it's interesting because we're the industry where we could talk about it. Even it is what it is. Either, particularly in commercials, you need certain demographics, and in pictures they want something, and they walk in. But as casting directors, we hope to open their eyes to something.
Yeah, and that's all that you can hope for, is that there's someone in the room that is that sees something in you and that's fighting for you no matter how you go in.
Right.
And when you come out, that casting director say, "I like this guy. I think he has something that," but you don't always get that. You just never know, what they're going to do or what energy they have at some point. Like I was telling Kim, I went in and saw a casting director that she knows, and I did a couple of good auditions, and then one time I was just not feeling it. And then one time I went in there and it was like I got nothing from her, not a thing. She was just like, and I said, "Well, do you really want me in it?" And I understand that during the course of a day, and the casting director can be tired of seeing people.
Right. No,
And so her bad day gave me a bad day, which I said, okay, I know what this is going to look like.
I've always said I'm perky and happy until about 2 p.m.
And it's like, I think, and I understand this, the nature of the business. It's like if you're casting something and it's not a major role, it's like I don't think a casting director needs to, they should know enough people that they put a list out and say, okay, I want to see this person, 3 people, it's like, don't spend your whole day racking your brain trying to cast something like that.
I do that.
That can frustrate you, and it frustrates the actor, because the actor gets there and you see a ton of people for the same role. It's like, oh, okay, Jesus, and then they'll go off script and go send away to get somebody, you know?
Right.
So
And
kind
that's,
of
yeah. I mean, I've talked many a client off the cliff of wanting to see so many talent. I'm like, there's no reason to hire me then.
the main thing that
Put
I
that
have,
out, you know, on Facebook. Enjoy yourself because you don't need me.
yeah, the main thing
Yeah.
I hope for is that the casting director can get me in the room. You know, it's
Right.
like you're in the room with the casting director. If they can get you in the room with the director and producers and whatnot, that's what you look for, you know.
Tell
So I
us what
believe,
your experience is in the room versus being in the a self-tape. You know, now
Yeah.
it's two separate
I
experiences.
think the self-tape is a good thing. I don't know how often. I mean, I don't know what the procedure is in you're doing a self-tape. I got a ton of self-tape now on my computer that I look at and I study and say, "Ooh, that was a bad one. That was a bad." But I wonder how much of that gets to the producers or the directors, or does the
All of them.
casting director look at it and say, "I'm not going to send this on."
I mean, for me, if you're taking the time, unless you have completely messed up technically, and even if you've messed up, I will go back in and ask you to redo it. But if I've asked you to do this, unless it is completely horrible, he gets to see it because he can click right past it.
Yeah.
Well, now see, for me, that's I do it differently because I'll let more people self-record because it's not costing me the time in the room, so to speak, you know? So it's, for me, it's giving me an opportunity to see talent who normally wouldn't get to be seen. But, you know, but like you, if they're bad, like I had a guy who self-recorded in his closet of his bedroom, clothes hanging over, box. What are you doing? And he looked like he crawled on the bed. He hadn't combed his hair. He's disheveled. He's wrinkled. And it was for a commercial project. And I'm thinking, dude, there's no way I can forward
That's
you.
crazy.
So for me, about 60% of the self-records get sent to the client.
That's the thing, you don't know.
Yeah,
We're all different.
And I understand that, and I do marvel at the new system, and I think it's a good system. You know, I think actors just have to get better at doing self-tape
Right.
and doing their best work, and don't send it until you're happy with it.
And
Well,
that's the beauty.
Right. The key is that I think actors forget, treat it as if you got dressed up and you came to our office.
Right.
Like, I'm amazed at the number of actors
That's a
who
really good
barefoot. They haven't, you know, they're in their schleppy shorts, like they're ready to go scrub the kitchen floor. And they think they're reading for a role of a corporate person. Like,
Right.
dress
Crazy.
and act like you would if you were coming to my office to meet me.
100%.
You know,
Exactly.
I think that's a big mistake and it's because we've all kind of gone into our coronavirus, you know,
Right.
quarantining mode of, you know,
Right.
I do what I want. I'll comb my hair when I want. I'll shower once a week, whatever.
You got to step it up for your self-tape. No question. No question.
Yep. Treat it like you're going to the actual room.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
Any parting words for us, Eric, that you might say to young actors now?
I think this have been heavenly. I enjoy talking this kind of talk. Enjoy talking to professional casting directors who cast, and I don't feel nervous or scared. A lot of times you walk into a casting director, and it's like you don't know what you're going to get, what you're going to feel, you know. And being a theatrical actor, I feel a lot. You know, I'm very intuitive in what's playing in the room. And so sometimes it's like, okay, no matter what I do, I'm not going to get this job. I'm not going to move forward, but I do the best that I can. But I enjoyed this because I think that I've learned a lot, and I hope I have embellished some experience from me.
Totally.
That you
Absolutely.
may be able to use with the next person that you see like me.
Yeah.
You know?
No, lovely to be in both of your presence. Thank you for coming. And Kim, always good to see you. Eric, great. And we'll see you next time.
Okay.